Today, we're unpacking some serious revelations surrounding Joni Lamb, president of Daystar Television Network, and the jaw-dropping salary increase she received following the death of her husband and Daystar co-founder, Marcus Lamb. Let's rewind to 2022. After the tragic passing of Marcus Lamb, Joni officially stepped into the role of president at Daystar. But what truly raised eyebrows was what followed, not just a leadership shift, but a financial one. According to an internal Daystar document obtained by the Weiss report, Joni Lamb's compensation didn't just increase, it exploded. Her salary reportedly surged by a staggering 140%, bringing her total earnings to $1,048,200 in 2022. To give you some perspective, in 2021, when Marcus was still alive, Joni's salary was $436,750. In just 1 year, that number more than doubled. In fact, it made her the highest-paid employee at Daystar by a wide margin. The next highest-paid staff, CFO Arnold Torres, reportedly made $300,000 in 2022. That means Joni was making more than 3 times what her CFO earned. So, how was this dramatic increase justified? Well, according to their son, Jonathan Lamb, Marcus had arranged for Joni to receive a salary equal to both his and Joni's previous combined salaries in the event of his passing. That explains the jump, at least on paper. Jonathan also noted that Joni's total compensation package included a housing allowance. But the revelations don't stop there. That same internal document showed that in 2022, Joni, her children, and their spouses collectively earned close to $2 million from Daystar. And if that sounds high, just wait. Their salaries were set to go even higher in 2023. Here's the breakdown. Jonathan Lamb, former VP, $199,000 in 2022, set to increase to $215,000. Susie Lamb, co-host of The Green Room, $90,000 set to increase to $100,000. Rachel Lamb Brown, Director of Communications, $190,000 rising to $200,000. Joshua Brown, Producer, $100,000, jumping 25% to $125,000. Rebecca Lamb Weiss, Podcast Contributor, $100,000 increasing to $105,000. Jonathan Weiss, Israel Liaison and Producer, $185,000 going up to $195,000. These numbers paint a picture of a family-run network where leadership roles come with substantial paychecks and steady increases. But then things took a sharp turn. In late 2023, Jonathan Lamb and his wife Susie were abruptly terminated from Daystar. Since then, they've gone public with serious accusations against Joni, including claims that she covered up SA allegations involving their daughter. A devastating and explosive charge. And when the Weiss report reached out to Daystar for comment, rather than directly addressing the salary disclosures or family rift, the network shifted focus, accusing Jonathan of improperly sharing the internal document and warning the Weiss report not to use the information he provided. It is readily apparent that you are working in concert with Jonathan to obtain and misuse such information with the conscious intent of causing injury to Daystar and others. Demand is hereby made that you not use the proposed salary information Jonathan provided to you, and for you to advise Jonathan that you will no longer participate in his misuse of documentation from Daystar. Daystar later issued a statement attempting to downplay the situation, claiming that Joni Lamb's salary did not exceed 7 figures. But Jonathan Lamb quickly fired back. He firmly asserted that Joni's total compensation was not only accurate, but 100% verified, and that it did, in fact, surpass $1 million. In its defense, Daystar also emphasized that no salaries at the network are paid using donated funds. Instead, they stated that all compensation comes strictly from broadcast revenue, separating viewer donations from staff payroll. The only comment Daystar will make about salaries is that no salary at Daystar is paid from donated funds. This applies to Joni Lamb and every other employee. Rather, all salaries are paid from revenues generated from the operation of the broadcast side of Daystar's network. As has been the case for many years, the salaries of the top executives of Daystar, including Joni Lamb, have been set based on recommendations provided by an independent third-party professional compensation firm based on comparable positions and comparable responsibilities and Daystar's internal evaluation of salaries of comparable positions each year. The figure for Joni Lamb's salary in your email is totally inaccurate and is in fact less than 7 figures. Daystar, in an effort to address growing concerns, issued an official statement to the Roy's report in response to the salary revelations and accusations swirling around the Lamb family and the network's inner workings. On the surface, the statement aimed to defend the network's integrity and reassure viewers that everything was above board. They claimed plainly and confidently that Joni Lamb's salary had not exceeded 7 figures, directly contradicting the information provided by her son, Jonathan Lamb. Additionally, the network stated that no salaries at Daystar are funded by donations, insisting instead that all employee compensation, including executive pay, is covered through revenue generated solely from the broadcasting side of the business. But as always, there's a catch. And this one is crucial. While Daystar may have made that statement to technically shield itself from direct criticism, the Roy's report took the extra step of verifying the source of Daystar's revenue with Jonathan Lamb. What they discovered paints a far more complicated picture. Jonathan clarified that Daystar's primary income stream comes from fees paid by ministries and religious organizations that purchase airtime on the network. Many of these ministries are not-for-profit businesses. Rather, they are funded almost entirely by donor contributions, the financial gifts of well-meaning Christians who give from their hearts to support gospel-centered programming. These ministries, in turn, pay Daystar for access to its platform. So while Daystar may claim that it's not using donations directly, it is indirectly relying on donated money. It's a financial ecosystem, one where donor-funded ministries are essentially fueling the revenue that Daystar then uses to pay its executives. The donations may be passing through an extra layer, but at the end of the day, donor dollars are still playing a key role in funding the operation. This distinction, technical as it may be, does not sit well with many who believe Christian networks should operate with complete honesty and transparency, especially when public trust is involved. But the situation only deepens from here. Jonathan Lamb also dropped a major revelation. In 2023, as tensions grew within the leadership of Daystar, he attempted to access the network's internal payroll system to review staff compensation. As a former vice president of the network and a member of the founding family, such access might seem like a reasonable request, especially given his responsibilities and his concern for ethical stewardship. However, what he encountered was startling. Jonathan says he was explicitly blocked from viewing the salary information of 2 individuals in particular, his mother, Joni Lamb, and her new husband, Dr. Doug Weiss. According to him, this payroll lockout was enforced by the HR department, and more specifically, was carried out under strict instructions from Joni herself, as communicated by HR Representative Linda Cooper. Now, if you've been following this story, you know that Joni Lamb married Dr. Doug Weiss, a Christian counselor and speaker in 2023 following the passing of her late husband, Marcus Lamb. Shortly after their marriage, Jonathan alleges, Doug Weiss began receiving a 6-figure salary from Daystar under the title of consultant. But to this day, there's been no public explanation or detailed outline of what that consulting role entails. What expertise is he offering? What are his specific responsibilities? Why was such a substantial salary justified so soon after marrying into the Lamb family? These are questions that, at present, remain unanswered. And all of this points to a broader issue that many believe must be addressed not just at Daystar, but across all ministries and Christian media platforms: financial transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership. Jonathan Lamb has been increasingly vocal in calling for reform. He argues that if Daystar were operating like a typical nonprofit organization, it would be required to file an IRS Form 990, a document that forces transparency by making executive compensation and major financial decisions visible to the public. But Daystar, as it currently stands, does not file a Form 990, meaning viewers, supporters, and even some internal staff have little to no visibility into how funds are being allocated or how decisions are being made behind closed doors. And so, the question must be asked. In a ministry built on proclaiming truth, why is it so difficult to get the truth about its finances? In a network that preaches biblical integrity, why are family members and employees being shut out of basic transparency? For thousands of Christian viewers who tune into Daystar with trust and spiritual expectation, these revelations may feel deeply unsettling. They should. These aren't minor accounting discrepancies, these are issues that strike at the heart of integrity, stewardship, and trustworthiness in ministry. At the end of the day, Christian media platforms like Daystar are not just businesses, they are spiritual institutions. And when financial practices begin to resemble corporate maneuvering more than Christ-like stewardship, it's not just a public relations issue, it's a spiritual crisis. We want to hear from you. Do you believe ministries like Daystar should be held to the same transparency standards as other nonprofit organizations? Should there be more oversight when it comes to family-run ministries? And how should Christian donors respond when trust is broken? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters in these conversations. And as always, we encourage you to approach these stories with prayer, wisdom, and discernment. The body of Christ is called to walk in truth even when that truth is uncomfortable. Let's continue to pray for healing, clarity, and accountability within the church, especially in places of influence. If you found this video helpful, informative, or even just eye-opening, please consider giving it a thumbs up, sharing it with others, and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into stories that matter. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay rooted in truth, stay prayerful, and as always, God bless you.